The Roman painter Mario Mafai is one of the most interesting artists that reworks the iconography of Mussolini in the period from, starting in the early 1940s. His wife was a Jewish painter, and so from 1938 onwards, after the racial laws were declared in Italy, their position in Rome becomes increasingly difficult. So they decide to sort of move. He decides to move the family away from Rome, and in the period around 1941-43. He starts working on these amazing series of paintings called Fantasia, so fantasies. They are extremely interesting in the way in which Mafai completely dismantles ideas about, the body beautiful, if Mussolini's body was a body beautiful, but anyway, of the ideal fascist body. As you can see in the painting over here, Fantasia with the conquerors, the body of Mussolini is appears as a kind of grotesque caricature. Something that I should also point out is that in all of the paintings of the series, almost in all of them, the body is always a naked body, and these, the naked body also becomes, this fleshy body in which, the sort of the flaccid sort of flesh, folds upon itself. The proportions, I think, are particularly interesting, both in terms of the proportions of the face that turns it into a caricature. Mussolini had these very strong facial features, the sort of fairly strong jaw, these quite sort of distinct, sort of very intense gaze, and in this particular painting, you can see how you can tip it over the edge and make it become a caricature, a grotesque representation by simply moving slightly the geometry of the face. So the mouth, for instance, becomes overly long. The nose sort of almost disappears from the face, and the eyes, have these sort of very sort of strange sort of round, appearance, and they seem to sort of be completely unfocused. The total visual opposite of the idea of the intensity of his gaze that was, so overpowering, or at least so the fascist ideology tells us. All these bodies become, are sort of to an extent, obese bodies, very, very grotesquely sort of fat, also very diminutive, and this is another element that completely contrasts with previous ideas about the strong and tall and powerful body of the dictator.